Good morning, internets. Well, so today is Sunday. Yesterday was my only day off this week, and I've arrived in the general vicinity of my work today, and I got here a little bit early so I can make a little bit of a follow-up video. So yesterday we did go back to the car show on Eastern and had a blast. So I got a couple of cool vids here and there. We saw a lot of really cool cars. You always see a lot of really cool cars at a Vegas car show, but that one in particular is just kind of like my little hometown car show, and it's just always a really, really good time and a really positive atmosphere, so I had a really good day going out and seeing everybody's stuff. I had only one person come over and talk to me and ask me about the Volt, and he was a really nice guy named Ken, who showed up in a brand spanking new Jag, which was totally badass. And we talked a little bit, and Ken makes his living as a trucker, and I was like, oh my God, so did you hear about Tesla? And Ken's like, yeah, I heard about Tesla. And I was like, all right, so here's what I'm skeptical about, but I don't have your experience owning a trucking company, because that's what this dude does. He owns a fleet. What do you think? And he didn't really have, as much information as I did on it, with all of his, traditional trucks. But, I filled him in a little bit, telling him about the 500-mile range and what charge time, in 30 minutes you can get another 400 miles, blah, blah, blah. And, Ken looks at me and goes, I just don't think that's enough, but I see where they're coming from with that range, because legally a trucker can only drive so long anyway. And it depends on what state you're in, I guess. This is something I didn't know, because different states have a different mile an hour, depending on where you travel as a trucker. The government has limited, I guess, this is the way he explained it to me, and I'm doing my best not to butcher it. The government has limited how long a truck driver can drive a truck to avoid things like driver fatigue and accidents from happening. But they do it by distance and not necessarily by time. So in states where the mile per hour, the speed limit is like, let's say 65 for the trucks, it would be they have a greater distance they're allowed to travel than in states where it's 55. But it all comes down to an 8-hour shift. I'm not really sure exactly how it works, but he seems to think that 500 miles is not enough range, because for a lot of the stuff on the East Coast, he says truck drivers have a better, 584, I guess, is what he said. Some of his drivers, depending on what route they're on, 584 miles, and they don't want to have to stop in order to charge. So he's also skeptical of the infrastructure. So I don't know. It was pretty interesting to talk to somebody and to have the one person who came to me and asked me questions about the Volt, because I had it out with, the hood up. And people do walk by it and they look in and they're like, and I just kind of walk away. But he came right over and wanted to talk, and I was super stoked to talk to him. But then additionally to that, he also happened to own a trucking company, and that's what the dude does. That was extremely fortuitous, and I was really pleased to be able to get his perspective on the thing. So there's another angle there on the Tesla thing. He doesn't think that the range is quite enough. And I also asked him, what happens if a truck driver runs out of charge, ends up with a flat battery with hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of cargo, and just ends up stranded, more or less. And he said that's something worthy of consideration. So, while I do want to see the Tesla truck work, and Elon Musk has continued to deliver and deliver and deliver all kinds of amazing advances in the last decade, I don't know. I heard from the man there, that's how the man makes his living. That's how he makes his Jag payment, is owning a trucking company, and he's built this company himself, and what he does is trucking. What he does is that sort of commerce, and that's all he's done. That guy's opinion matters to me, and I find it, interesting that he is so skeptical. But he liked the idea. He loved the idea, because he says that, he knows that the maintenance cost for them is going to be a lot less, and that his, Peterbilt's and Kenworth's are down for maintenance. It seems like he's got another one down for maintenance every 2 weeks. The oil changes, the this, the that, and all of the things that tend to go wrong with, all the crazy compression that giant diesel makes. he would be happy to see something that had less maintenance costs and can be on the road longer, and is not down, because every time a truck's not moving things, it's not making money, it's costing money. Like, if the truck isn't making money, it's actively costing money. Either, like, and it was interesting for him to put it this way. He goes, even if it's not actively costing me money, if I can't have it, like, if it doesn't need a major repair, it's down for something small and it's not costing a lot of money, just having it being still is costing money, because it's, one, not making the money that it could, but also you have storage considerations and things like that, like all kinds of crazy things that I didn't even consider. And I didn't know, I'm not claiming to be somebody who knows a lot about the trucking industry to begin with. But I have known truckers, but it was just, I mean, it was a very enlightening conversation. And in 20 minutes, the dude just, you know, filled my head up with all kinds of information, and like more than just the information. Everything he told me, I think I could look up on my own and eventually find, but to get the perspective, the difference in perspective from somebody who really makes their living that way, meant a lot more to me than anything I could have read on my own. So I really appreciated his time and effort. And, you know, I was so enthralled and enthused with what we were speaking about. I didn't even take the time to really go get to know his car, or get any video or get any pictures of it, which is terribly rude. And if I ever see him again, and hopefully I will, at the car show on Eastern, because people tend to rotate and come back. I'd like to get some more details on his car, but just having the perspective from the person, you know, who makes his living that way, when we had this news this week, and I've, you know, made the video talking about Tesla and how, you know, I was delirious that morning, and it was just like blowing my brain up and totally stutter filled. But now, after having had experience, speaking to, Ken, the trucking company guy, and, getting to read a little bit more, had some really wonderful comments from some subscribers, huge quantities of information, on the Tesla video shared by one of our subscribers. And I really appreciate when you guys know more than I do about something, and you get on there and you share not only your perspective, but all of like the hard information that you've been able to find, and, you know, the things that you've been learning. I absolutely adore it. Thank you guys so much for being so inclusive and supportive and informative. And like, that's really what I want here, is that kind of give and take. So I really appreciate that sort of interaction. So what do you guys think now? Do any of you have trucking experience? No truckers? Is there anybody you can ask? Are you on the East Coast? Or are you on the West Coast? What's trucking culture like where you're from? I'm actually not from Las Vegas. I'm from Northern Nevada, and like, that's a truck stop hub up there. Up in, you know, the Reno Sparks area where I'm from. And I want to know what everybody's perspectives are here. And what do you think, the future of trucking is really going to look like? And is Tesla doing it? Or is Tesla just going to light the fire under the asses of the other truck manufacturers, who are then going to make better versions of diesels? Like, I don't really know what's going to happen, but I know something's going to happen. And I don't know that it's going to be necessarily the exact vision of Elon Musk, because the cynic in me still doesn't, I just personally don't see that kind of massive change coming that quickly over such a huge span. It's the infrastructure that I have a problem having faith in. But I would love to have enough information to be a convert. I want to believe, Elon. I want to believe. But anyway, that's all I've got this morning, guys. Go check out the Instagram, and that's EVs, EVSOFNV, EVs of Nevada, at Instagram, same as the ad on here, and, Facebook.com/EVs of NV. And, go check it all out, because most of the car show stuff I had in there, and we had some pretty funny moments with, some Camaros and some Vets. So check it out. And I am Catherine. And as always, if you guys have any content requests or anything you'd like to see covered, or what else you'd want to see in these videos in general, I'm still learning here, guys, and I'd like to make this something good. So, I really appreciate all your feedback and input. I hope everybody's having a great Sunday. Bye.